Hello, my name is Tavar. I'm a Weeble 2 Scout. This is my last year in Cub Scouts with Pack 570. I will be going to Troop 270, but right now I'm going to show you how to build Pack 570's Primal DerbyTrack. These are some of the tools you will need to build the track. First, you will need the track that is in this white case. Second, you will need a couple of tools, a drill and a couple of screwdrivers. Third, you'll need this blue bin that has some of the electronics in it. Fourth, you will need the timer that is in this box. Those are the 4 things that you will need to build this track. Now let me show you some of the pieces of the track. You are going to need help to get the pieces out of the track.
It's like a robot. Come on, try it again.
Now you're going to need Now I'm going to show you some of the pieces of the track which is in this white case. Remember, you are going to need some help to get the pieces out of the case. So I'm going to ask my dad to come and help me get the pieces out of the case. Dad. And this is Tom Tavar. As you can see, there are a lot of pieces in this case. This right here is the old gate that weighed about 2 or 3 pounds. This is the new aluminum gate that weighs only about 8 ounces that my dad built. These gray boards are only for displaying the Pinewood Derby cars. They have nothing to do with the track, so I'm just going to put them aside. This black weight is for holding down the start of the track, so when the gate releases, the track doesn't shake. The peg next to the weight is for holding the weight in place, so the weight doesn't move around. As you can see, the track is made up of 4 sections: the start, 2 middle, and an end. Each of those sections has a union: A, B, and C. These square boards over here is what holds the unions together. We are going to put the unions together. To put the unions together, you're going to need the tools now. And in the blue bucket are some screws. For this, you will need the drill. And screws. I have 2 more tips for you. Tip number 1, Make sure you put the screws in lightly at first so you can align the track perfectly, and then tighten the screws. Tip number 2, make sure your torque for your drill is between 12 and 13. We are now at Union 3, Section C to C. I would like to give you 2 very important tips that you must know. Number 1, you must always clean the union board that connects the 2 boards together. You must clean it because if you don't, then there might be dirt under it and the track might be uneven, and the cars might crash. Tip number 2, you must always have a washer on the nail. As you can see, I already cleaned 1/2 of the union board. There are 3 support bars. 1 in the center of section 3, 1 in the center of section 4, and 1 at the end of section 4. Now I'm going to put the support bars in. I'm now going to show you how to put together the rest of the pieces for section 1, where the starting gate is located. You are going to need 2 people to do this part, so I'm going to ask my dad to come and help me lift the track up. Now, you will need these 2 wooden pieces, the rest of the screws that is in this white box, and these 2 metal plates. goes right here, like this. But it might be a little tricky at first, so I'm going to come ask my dad to come and help me with this. Now, these two metal plates go here like this, but make sure they're facing inward. This long piece goes behind here, behind the wooden plates. Make sure that the BB on the long board is facing the BB on this board. Now, this weight goes in here like this. Now, we are going to install the electronics. There are 3 pieces of the electronics. First piece is the start gate. Second piece is the timer. Third piece is the timer sensor. Now, when you take these pieces out of this box, be very careful because they're very delicate. Now, while you put up the timer sensor, you will need 2 people for this. So I'm going to ask my dad to come and help me. And be sure to take the screws out before you put this under. Now, you see this spring? It goes through this hole like this. Now I'm going to need my dad to help me hold it. Now you will need a screwdriver to screw these in. The second piece that you will be putting on is the timer. Now, this piece is very delicate. And make sure you put the timer the right way. But for this one, you will also need 2 people, but you will need a flathead screwdriver. So I'm going to ask my dad to come and help me lift this up so I can put this start gate. Now, we are going to install the start gate. This piece is also very delicate. For this, you will need the nails in the start box. come and ask my dad to help me with this.
Screw them in with your hands first, and then that'll get tight, and then you finish it off. And when you go back to get the others, just grab 3 of them in your hand instead of going one by one, or 4, however many more you need. Typically, you put one here and one on the other end, and you don't have to hold it anymore. But so if you put one on both ends, one on each end first, right? Then no one has to hold it up anymore for you. I want to tell them that you're
And then
going to attach the spring.
you are going to attach the spring to this little hole.
That's it.
There are 4 cables. 2 of the cables are for power. This cable right here is to connect the timer and the timer sensor to talk to each other. This cable is to power the timer. This cable is to power the timer sensor. This cable is to plug into your computer from the timer. Now, we are going to show you how to plug these in. This cable runs down, goes through, plugs in right into this little hole, and runs all the way down under here. plugs in to right there. This cable is for down here. Which is to power the timer. This white cable is to power this timer sensor. And this cable is to plug in right there and goes into your computer. Thank you.